One of the favorite things I learned about 3 years ago is quantifying emotions, and then I took it to the next level and I started using thing called regret minimalization. So whenever you have, a choice to make a decision, please do not make the pros and cons list, because you well, basically, if I want to move to Novi Sad or Belgrade, I move, pros and cons list. That shit doesn't matter. Like, I can get hit by a car in either one of those cities. But using regret minimalization, if I move to Novi Sad, would I regret not moving to Belgrade? Or if I move to Belgrade, would I, you know, regret not moving to Novi Sad? And how much would I regret that? Let's go, you know, and then you see which one is less, and that's called regret minimalization. So whenever you have, a decision you have to make, can I live with that, is the question you ask yourself. And instead you should be asking yourself, can I live without it? And if you cannot live without it, then that's what you take. If you want to decide which college you should choose, this one is harder but makes you happier, but this one is easier but makes you less happy. That's a tough choice, right? Should you go with the easy one but you're not that interested, or with the hard one but makes you happy? I don't know. But what you can do is put the numbers, this is 1 to 10, 1 to 10. And then you multiply those, and the number that's better, you choose that one. So that's like the best thing I have ever done, is like, hey, I'm 7 happy right now, and people like, Timo, you cannot be 7 out of 10 happy. I'm like, yes I can. I just remember the day I was the happiest in my life, and that's 10. And then I remember the day I was like least happy, not sad, not miserable, least happy. Like, I still felt like I was happy, but I was like, meh, no, not that happy. And then that is 1. And compared to that, right now I feel like I'm 7 happy, and that's what, it's quantifying your emotion. And later in life you will probably get an option of choosing a job, one that pays more but you're miserable, and the one that pays less but you're happy. And then you ask yourself, well, how much money I need, and then depending on how much you need, then you give this one, let's say, the 8, and this one is 6. The one that makes less money is 6. But since you're miserable here, then you give it your 4. And since this one makes you happy, you give it, let's say, an 8. And then you multiply these two. So this is 8 times 4. And this is 6 times 8. And this is one is bigger. And you choose this one. And I know, like, nobody will ever tell you choose the job that pays you less. But it doesn't matter how much money you make. The only thing that matters is, are you healthy and are you happy? And since this one is making you miserable, right now you would not be happy, and in the long run you would not be healthy. That's a, side benefit of being happy, is that you're also healthy, and vice versa. When you're miserable, you get ill, not just your brain problem, your heart problem, your stomach problem, your blood sugar, and everything else is gonna ruin your sleep. Then your sleep's gonna decrease your pressure, it's gonna, make you feel tired. You're not gonna be willing to work out, you're not gonna be willing to eat clean, and then also your testosterone is gonna drop. That will mean that you wouldn't have the drive, you wouldn't be as ambitious, because you're gonna start losing a lot. Then your dopamine receptors will shrink, because when you win, they grow. When you lose, they shrink. And since they shrunk, you wouldn't be able to feel the happiness. Like, I honestly feel that some people feel more happiness than the other because they kept winning and their dopamine receptor kept growing, and then their maximum happiness a person can feel keeps increasing and the other people are losing, and then their maximum happiness keeps decreasing. And that's what happens when you have a bad job. Your maximum capacity for being happy starts decreasing, and unless you change that, you will never be happy enough happy. Like you can be 2 happy or 3 happy, but you'll never be 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10. Like you don't have that option. You lost that option because you choose the wrong job. So that's called regret minimalization, is when you choose something not based on how much do you want it, but would you regret choosing the other thing. And I hope this video brought you some clarity. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.